Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. Let's dive right in. It's just been kind of a mixed bag here so far this year. We had a really nice flush on Monday. Those are the kind of flushes that on the short side you kind of live for. But then the next question is, what happens now? Was that it? Is that all we're going to see on the downside and it's up, up, and away from here? Or is this something that we have to pay a little bit more attention to? Well, I'm looking at this as we got a probe of the 21 EMA, all right? And typically, if you close below the 21 EMA, that actually starts a larger term downtrend. And then bulls were able to kind of come together, and then they came up and probed the 8 EMA, all right? So right now we're sandwiched in between the 8 and the 21 EMA. It would make sense that we could at least retest the lows again, potentially even flush them out, scare longs, and then we rally into next week. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's kind of how I'm positioned. So right now we're just kind of selling some premium. We have some light shorts on and not really making any big bets. I mean, it's the first week, right? We're just trying to grind out our 2.5% this week and then see what sets up. From there, of course, Bitcoin continues to move higher, as does gold and silver on the backs of a weaker dollar. And everybody is kind of waiting to see how the Georgia Senate race is going to play out. And of course, the markets are in a little bit of a pause mode for that as well. One thing to keep in mind in a situation like this is, keep an eye on TLT. The bond market here kind of gives us kind of a heads up as well. The way this works is that if suddenly bonds fall lower, that's an indication that they think the bond market thinks that the economy is going to be doing great, and it's more of a kind of a gesture of inflation. Whereas if for some reason it spikes up, it thinks that the economy is going to have a hard time and look more towards a deflationary environment. So kind of keep an eye on this as the election results are coming in. The bond market usually gives a clue as to kind of what's going on there. And if Republicans can kind of keep control of the Senate, some view that as good just because it kind of keeps some nice checks and balances in place. And then if for some reason Democrats do take control of the Senate, there's the idea that much more stimulus is coming. And so what is the impact there? Pros and cons of both situations from a financial perspective. From there, the interesting trade right now, of course, continues to be Tesla. The stock's up after hours on more news for their cars in China. I would love to buy a pullback to the 8 EMA, which is about $697. Now that we're going to be opening up at 750, I don't know how realistic that is, but as the 8 EMA changes in value every day, I'm certainly willing to buy a pullback to that until it stops working. So don't get too caught up in, oh my gosh, it's too high priced and all that kind of stuff. It's just you buy the pullback until it stops working. All right, so that's what we got. Should not be a dull evening or tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic week. Welcome to the new year, and let's get this done.